Yeah. Mm.
No, my son tries to sit there, he's spaced out. Very. Boy. Go. Good evening. Welcome to the Township Council Workshop, Monday, September 8th, 2025. This meeting is now called to order. Councilman Patel, please lead us in the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, Madam Clerk, please read the statement of public notice.
Take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with NJSA 10:4-8 and NJSA 10:4-10 as follows. A notice of the meeting was prominently posted on the bulletin board at the municipal building located at 225 Main Street, Little Falls, New Jersey on January 7, 2025. Copy of the notice was sent to the North Jersey Herald and News and the Record on the same date. Additionally, a copy of the notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk on said date. A link and a telephone number to join the meeting virtually can be accessed on the Township website at littlefallsnj.gov. Electronic provisions have been established for the public to participate during the public comment portion of the meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, please call the roll.
Councilmember Patel?
present.
Councilmember Murphy?
Present.
Councilmember Hablitz? Councilmember Vanchery?
Present.
Council President Scoba?
Present. At this time, I'm going to call on our very own Commissioner Lazara, who resides in Little Falls, to do the presentation on the Peckman Preserve Park presentation. Commissioner, the floor is yours. You could go to the podium.
Do we have the? So I am County Commissioner Lazara. I live here in, is this working?
Yes.
Okay. In Little Falls. I'm joined by our Director of Historical and Cultural Affairs, Kelly Raffel, who has done a lot of work on this project. I wanted to bring it to you because I know it's been quite a while since, well, back in 2005, which is a long time ago, the county bought this property for $5.7 million. And the reason we bought it is because there was a developer who wanted to put 25 houses in the Peckman Preserve. With help from Congressman Pascrell, we were able to get the funding we needed to buy that property and keep it the way it is. Because we all know there's floodwaters. It's a big part of what the floodwater is in this town. So this is a really exciting day for Little Falls and Passaic County. It's a $2.5 million investment in the Peckman Preserve, and it will transform this 12 acres of natural beauty into an area that will be accessible to people throughout the township. It's fully funded. It's no cost to the taxpayers, no cost to the township. We, the county commissioners, are making sure that everything is done. And Kelly took the lead on this project because she is so good at what she does. When we open, when we open up the castle again, you're going to see all the work she did. So let's look at this. It's a $2.5 million funding project that we're doing on the 12 acres. And what we want, the goal actually is to extend public access, enhance the nature of what it is now, but also being mindful that we need to make sure that it stays as a wetland for all excess water in this town to go to. So we're really happy to be able to do that. Now, the timeline is this: the design work is done. All right, all done. Phase 2 is the permits, and they're in progress now. After that, we put it out for bid for construction, and hopefully by 2026, we'll be able to get started on it and make it just beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. We can go to the next one. So it's really a transformational project for our community. The Peckman Preserve was an underutilized park, as we all know. People, I mean, we would all walk there, right? I walk there. It's a beautiful place. But now it's going to be a place where our visitors and our residents will be able to go and see exactly like what it looks like in its natural state. I'm a big proponent of preserving natural space, so this is a huge project that I am fully invested in. It's about sustainability, accessibility, and making sure everyone, no matter their background or ability, has a space to enjoy the outdoors. It also reflects the county's ongoing commitment to balance recreation with the protection of our open spaces. It will also support the Morris Canal project as we work to connect 26 miles of the canal in this county. Oh, you're ahead of me. Hold on. Now, this is a rendering. This is not the final project, okay? This is just showing you what it's going to look like. We're going to have a bulkhead, and at that bulkhead, we're going to have parking for, Cal, 5 or 6 spaces. Yeah. So with this trailhead and the parking and this multi-use structure, what we hope is going to happen is that school children can go there, look at the natural beauty, learn about what Little Falls has to offer. We also hope that it will guide people through the preserve. So we're looking at the bulkhead now, but we plan on combining trails and paths and a boardwalk over the wet part of it so that people don't have to worry about getting through it. And it's just gonna be great. These images are an example of what it could look like. And as we move further along, we'll get a better idea of what's gonna happen there. Next one. So the environmental and educational impact. Well, this project includes ecological restoration, revitalizing the woodlands, and creating a managed meadow to support pollinators and wildlife. By balancing passive recreation with the environmental protections that we're going to put into place, we'll provide opportunities for hiking, bird watching, and outdoor education. And you will get a lot of bird watchers, I believe that. And through our cultural heritage exhibits, visitors are going to learn about the history of the Peckman Preserve. We're going to have information of what was it like before we all came here, right? What was it used for? How did it develop? As I said, going back to 2005, it was all over the newspapers when this developer wanted to buy this tract of land and build houses. We stopped them. And in fact, I saw some articles. with your name on them, going all the way back to like 2008, 2009. So what are the community benefits and the next steps? Once complete, the Peckman Preserve will be more accessible, inviting, and enriching for all ages. It will protect the natural beauty that is here now for future generations while strengthening Little Falls' role as a destination for outdoor recreation. Construction's due hopefully the early part of 2026, depending on how the permits and everything go, but we hope to get started then. And what do you think, Cal? About a year before it's done? Yeah. So we're happy to be here because we want to work with the mayor and council here in Little Falls to bring this project to fruition. And we want to encourage people, once it's done, to go there and just enjoy the nature, the wildlife, and everything that's in the Peckman Preserve. Because right now you really can't walk through it. So, I mean, that's our presentation. It's brief. It's short. As we get more information, we will be here to share it with you. But we just wanted to give you an idea, and the people who live here, of what to expect as we move forward with the project.
At this time, Commissioner, why don't you take a seat and you answer some questions from the public along with Kelly. Chief, if you don't mind sitting next to Councilwoman Patel, and that Kelly and the commissioner could sit here and answer the public's questions or comments concerning this project. Thanks, Chief. Yeah. So at this time, before I ask the public to talk, anyone from the council would like to have any questions or comments? Through the floor, Councilwoman Hablitz.
Thank you. I'd like to thank you both for coming today and showing us this presentation. As you know, I've been emailing with Kelly back and forth on behalf of the open space, as I am the open space liaison. So I know that you said about parking, do we have actually architectural plans that would show where the parking is going to be?
Yes, we have full architectural renderings. So what you've seen in the presentation is just images of the park and renderings that conceptualize, right, once built, what really the two structures that we're building will look like. Also, right, how the path configuration is around the park, and ideologies on artwork, which I can explain more later, but we do have a full set of construction documents, as that is provided for our DEP permitting. So that has been sent down to DEP. It's still, I mean, that could take 3 to 6 months just for the DEP to, provide us a permit and a response, whether changes need to be made. We also are submitting down to the State Historic Preservation Office, which is a requirement, as the Morris Canal, as everyone knows, is listed on the State and National Register of Historic Places. So that's another 45-day review. So they're seeing these plans. We're anticipating comments, so there will be minor changes. But we're happy to, if anyone wanted to view the plans, and Councilman, I know you'd asked for them, but I was waiting for this meeting, so we will send them over.
That would be great. We'd really love to discuss it at the open space meeting. As well as my second question is, I felt like there at one point was talk of bathrooms. Is there going to be a bathroom facility that you would be adding, or porta potties that you would be adding?
No, there will not be porta potties. So I know Commissioner Lazare said bulkhead, other terminology is a trailhead. So Peckman Preserve will be the first county park that will have a formal trailhead. So in that structure, I'm sorry, it's not back up on the screen. But right, it is a pavilion, so there will be picnic tables underneath, seating, and in it is designed with 2 restroom facilities. These restroom facilities will not be like your traditional, metal toilets and, sort of all concrete. It'll be tiled, formal bathrooms. There will be times that those bathrooms will be opened and operated, but there will be restrooms. The 2, in actually the one that's on the screen right now, as you can see, it's sort of that right bulk stone portion, that is the restroom versus, and then around it is all open. The other pavilion does not have a restroom. That is just the picnic pavilion, but it is matched in style and design.
And lastly, the maintenance of that facility will come from the county?
From the county, yes, through my office and the Department of Parks.
Okay. I will leave it open to my fellow council members and the public. Thank you.
Does anyone from the council have any questions or comments? Kelly, you alluded to artwork. You want to elaborate now? You opened the window to that. What artwork are we going to be anticipating?
So when we started this, or when I started this process through Peckman Preserve, we were doing tours of the history of the Morris Canal in Little Falls. And the gentleman here who's in this room right now, had mentioned about this idea of, I'm calling them shadow houses, because there was a settlement and buildings historically on this property. So initially, we were going to put, if anyone's been to Philadelphia and the Ben Franklin Museum, if you're by, you see sort of this metal structure that's supposed to annotate his house, the privy, et cetera. So initially, our first concept was to do that through wetlands, and obviously not getting, right, we would not get permitted to build such structures. So we decided to go in the avenue of, as you're walking the park, because we're building a new trail network that doesn't exist now. Along the walk, you will get, right, interpretive signs that will talk about the ecology, the Morris Canal, but then there were probably 5 to 6 different art installations that would kind of resonate with the history of Little Falls and the Morris Canal to tell that story. That's our concept. We are working, and we've been actively working on getting grant funding, arts grant funding, which we have. Small grants we have gotten. So we are ready, or at the time now, to submit a public process. So it'll be public artwork. So it'd be like an RFP. So call for artists will go out. We would get submissions in, and then we would open up to whether to the public or through a committee to decide what art installations go into the park.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mayor, do you have any questions or comments?
No, of course, I always appreciate the county investing here in Little Falls. I know there are a number of tremendous parks that the county has built and maintained over the years throughout the county, and we appreciate you focusing this one in Little Falls and bringing all this to Little Falls.
At this time, we'll open up to the public. For those that would like to ask any questions or have comments, you're welcome to approach the podium. You can state your name for the record.
Janine Barone, 26 Viewmont Terrace. My first question is, you're talking about breaking ground in a few months at the beginning of 2026. What way did you get feedback from the community on what you're doing? Like, did you do surveys? Did you have focus groups? Did you have a planning session? This is the first I'm seeing any plans. So I'm curious to know where you got community feedback.
So we initially started when we were doing walking tours of Peckman Preserve, and it was really about the Morris Canal.
And
So
when was that?
It's got to be 2 years ago.
Probably.
This is like, it's been a long process. So 23, maybe
Yes.
even 22.
And just to say, this process actually started prior
doesn't.
to myself. It was when Councilwoman Sieber was the liaison, and some initial feedback came from the Open Space Committee at that time to them, as well as surveys that were posted from the county.
And since
Surveys that
then-
went out to the entire community?
So then we did because of Green Acres, to get Green Acres funding and the grant process, we have to do a public outreach segment. So we have presented at our commissioner meeting. We have also put out a public survey that went out to, Passaic County community at large. And we did 2 grant funding cycles. So this was for 23, 20, and 24, and 24 and 25, which was a recent year.
I'd just like to add to what Kelly's saying, because if you go back and do the research, you're going to see, going back to 2007, 8, 9, that we have been working with Little Falls to do something with Peckman Preserve. At this point now, we're ready to do it. Tina, you wrote several articles about it. And so we kind of figure that if you've been around, that you would know that this is something that we've been talking about.
No,
for years.
we all know that this has been talked about
Yeah.
for a very, very long time, but no one has seen any plans. Like, I think it's very new information that you're putting in a pavilion with bathrooms and parking spaces. We don't even know where exactly those will be located. So I think it's important that you get community feedback on exactly, not just concepts of what you're doing. I mean, it's wonderful that you got the grant money and enhancements are always very much appreciated. But I'm talking about people actually having specific comments, like maybe, putting in, a pond and just different ideas that I'm sure a lot of the people that live in this town would like to talk about and have, like a planning session. But it sounds like you guys are already so far along, there's not really an opportunity for that.
Well, I don't think we're far along, yes, because we wouldn't be here tonight if we didn't have some firm plans of how to move forward, right? And which is what you're saying is why we're here, to say, hey, look, this is what we're planning. We always invite the public's feedback. So is there any way we can have a
So, so,
Yeah.
so perhaps you said you have architectural drawings, but
Yeah.
you don't have them here tonight.
I don't have them with.
Okay, so that's something that I think that everyone, especially those of us that live in that neighborhood, would be very interested to see exactly where everything is going to be located, whether we're advocates of bathrooms across the street from our homes and parking spaces. These are, and I'm sure there's some other ideas that a lot of the residents here have, and they'd like to communicate. So I think it would be a great idea if you held some kind of a planning session and you brought those plans so you could, so we could have like a dialogue about what is exactly going to be in that area.
We can do a
Yeah.
community forum, sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank-
The floor is open.
Good evening. My name is
You
Robert.
could just raise the microphone so
Okay.
you're not uncomfortable.
Thank you, sir. Robert Dogue, 168 Wilmer Road. Good evening. Thank you, Chairman, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say the endeavor is well worthy. Thank you very much for investing in the community. I guess my question is in 2010, the county authored a study, the Peckman Preserve study. So my question is kind of twofold. One is how far do you deviate from the concepts that were already developed in 2010 as part of that study now? And then the 2.5 million, is that the construction cost or is that the total project cost?
So I was not here in 2010. So this plan was birthed out of the Morris Canal Arts District Plan, which we did in 2021, which covered the whole Morris Canal, right, stretching from Little Falls all the way through Wayne, total Wayne, Clifton, Patterson, Woodland Park. So the concept in that came, at least the project that I'm doing today, that we see today. Then your question regarding the budget, the 2.5 million that we have is the whole project budget.
Okay, it's just-
So that's landscape restoration, that's the building of the pavilions, picnic tables, the restroom, the walkways, and our permitting fees. So it's the whole project in totality.
Okay, so you haven't used at all
We have not
the study in
used-
2010, which was full of concept renderings, nothing. Okay.
Thank you.
How you doing? John Toomey, 159 Wilmore. So few things. Back in 2010, when this was approved, we were all part of this fight against Alfieri that Pascal came through and bought the property. At that point, it said it was going to be a passive preserve. In 2010, they did a study related to that passive preserve that somebody spent a lot of money on. What we're seeing today, some of it is passive, some of it's really not. Buildings, bathrooms, that's not a passive preserve. Parking, that was not part of it. It's supposed to be a natural preserve, it's supposed to be gone back to what it was with some walkways through it, some boardwalks and things like that. The second part of this is I was at a meeting about the bridge that may or may not go through. That's a whole nother topic. At the end of that, you guys were there with the plans. I inquired, what's going on? Can I see them? And I was told no. And I was told to leave. That's what I was told.
Okay.
So no one has seen this. If you look online, there's no links, there's no architectural renderings. No one has asked anyone that lives across the street or down the street what they think. I never saw a survey. So there's a lot of things being said that aren't necessarily as it came across. So I think that needs to be factored in. I think what Janine said that, this needs to be an open forum. It's impacting the entire community. If there's buildings and there's bathrooms, there's plumbing, there's now people there 24 hours a day, potentially. You say that there's gonna be lights, there's gonna be a lot of things that, well, you say there's not. How is, now the police is gonna have to maintain it. There's a lot of things that are going on that has not been brought up, that has not been taken care of. All the passive things, the pathways, a gazebo, things like that, that's wonderful. That's fantastic, because the deer basically own it now. You can't even get around there. I walk there with my dog. So, all of those things are wonderful. Art, who doesn't like art? We're all for that. Pathways, everything, that sounds fantastic, so that people can go and enjoy this. It's a beautiful 12 acres. It's sitting there not being used. There's a lot of things that need to be taken into account. That's all I have to say for that.
Thank you.
Just in response, the meeting that we had a year ago, maybe more, was specifically regarding the pedestrian bridge. At that time, the DEP changed its outlines, which meant that the project of just the bridge had to be redone totally, going for permits and drawings, going back to the architect. I mean, it's a big project. It does not fit into this project because that pedestrian bridge is a $5 to $6 million project on its own.
I'm sorry, we don't have dialogue from the audience, but you're welcome to come back up.
Thank you.
For the record, you have to speak to the mic.
When I was at that meeting, I saw you guys looking at the plans at the end of the meeting. And that's when I inquired what was going on. Anthony was there. And I was basically told to get out of the room, not politely, but, so, you know, I saw the plans. I saw that you opened the plans and I was like, hey, that's across the street from me. What's going on with that? That's not related to the bridge. And the bridge meeting was over and I didn't get anything.
Yeah, well. Listen, we'll do a public forum. We will take all your suggestions into advice. But the bottom line is that the bridge is a totally different project than what we're doing at the park. So.
Anyone would like to come up?
Hi, I'm Karen Chalice, 7 Prospect Street. I think John and Janine summed things up very nicely, but also, can you explain to me why there's a need for a bathroom in this setting? Is there some kind of requirement? Because to me, it's not the kind of park that you're going to be there for 8 hours a day where bathrooms would be a critical issue. And I'm very concerned about my property value going down with bathrooms being put up across the street. I'm concerned about crime. I'm concerned about graffiti. Like John said, we walk our dogs there. Now I have to be, thinking about who's coming out of the bathroom. So is there a reason there's a requirement for bathrooms, or someone just thought that was a good idea?
No, it's simply that usually when we take on parks projects, right, people ask for restrooms. So having a restroom at a county facility, because right now I understand it's underutilized, but if it's going to be utilized, then we don't put a bathroom in, then it'll be the opposite from the public. Oh, we need a bathroom. Can we have a bathroom here? And I think having the pavilion, or the thought was having the pavilion or a small pavilion, was better than having porta-johns, which then do get vandalized and things like that. But again, this was just part of the park plan. It's one restroom. It's not like 2 restrooms in the park. And even the addition of the pavilion, it was for picnicking. Like, it's not meant, like, there's no fields, there's no playgrounds. Like, it wasn't meant to be, like, we consider this a passive project based on the uses of the park, not necessarily questioning whether a pavilion is, active versus passive.
Yeah.
But that was the
an
reasoning.
area that, I could potentially swallow that, but the bathrooms I have a significant concern over, for the reasons I already stated. Also thinking, you have a strip mall right there that's very close walking distance, and boy, you could sell some sodas at Quick Check if they go in to use the bathroom. So it could also increase some revenue for some of the local businesses. If maybe, want to use the bathrooms, you have to buy something, and it's right there. Again, it's hard to tell with not seeing the renderings with that one picture over there. Impact to trees. Is there a percentage of trees that are going to come down? Are you going to do your best to preserve all of them? what is that going to look like?
At this point, it's very minimal tree removal. We're more focused on the knotweed and the invasives along the bank, which unfortunately, even if us removing them, which is why we have a team of sort of separate team outside of our landscape architect who is focusing on the ecology and the different plantings. Because if we remove the knotweed, right, the river, there's on the other opposite side of the bank. And as it flows down, right, it's going to come back even if we remove it all during this project. So that's what we're focused on. As of right now, I know definitely there's only 2 trees based on their health, but we are not planning to take down trees. That's not the purpose of the project, even with the pavilions being built.
Okay.
So
And then maintenance fees, whether it's gardening fees or to the structures. I know to do the initial building and whatnot, it's all covered by grants. But then I'm sure there's going to be fees that are going to impact taxes. Also, how does it affect Little Falls? Is State County going to be responsible for policing that area, or is Little Falls going to be responsible for policing that area?
So just so you know, it's county property. We are responsible for it. We have a very vigorous parks department that will be down here making sure that that's in top-notch shape. If you've been up to Garrett Mountain or Rifle Camp Park, you've seen that the landscaping is second to none. We will make sure we take care of that. And our sheriff's department, and I'm sure, Chief, when you guys drive around, I mean, everybody's going to be there to see it. And we're going to take care of it. You can trust us. We will.
And then, like you said, did you say the permits are in already?
we
To-
don't have
you-
permits. We
No, but you
submitted,
applied for them.
yes.
Yeah,
we-
just- So how hard is it? So if we do have the open forum, because I will also concur, I never received any notice or survey. And I live right across the street from that park. I've received nothing. So if we do get an opportunity to comment, what are the possibilities of adjusting to say, okay, everything's great except the bathrooms, or, you know,
We have time to make adjustments.
and does that impact negatively the
It-
ability to get?
It doesn't, it just prolongs the time. But again, DEP has a long rigorous process themselves.
Right.
So, right, we're talking 6 months out, you know, if not more, 3 to 6 months, if not more.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Robert Chalice, 7 Prospect Street. I just was wondering if even you could just let me know, where is this bulkhead going to be? Is it gonna be
Yes.
that close to Wilmore Road, or is it gonna be inland in the middle of the park?
There is it's actually in one of the renderings. It's small.
I have copies of the slideshow in the back if anybody wants them.
Mhm. And where's Prospect Street? Prospect Street is the one that goes in the middle of it. So it's gonna be right across from Prospect Street.
Mayor, I think it's 5. They're on 5.
Okay. Yeah. I can't really tell from there. It's, I can't even see it. It's where the sign is for the county sign. That's where it's gonna be, behind our footpath. Is that where it's gonna be? Or we keep, sort of right there. So which part of Wilmore Road there at that park is Little Falls? I was told that from the footpath to Wilmore was ours, behind the footpath was the county. Is that what it is?
Do you know those, Kelly?
I think
I was
We
told
don't have
that,
the
so now
plans.
the bathroom would go, if that's what I was told. If that's what I was told, so that means this bulkhead would be going on Little Falls property.
No, their structure will not be going on our property.
Okay. And just to comment, before I retired, I was around Rifle Camp Park in Garrett Mountain quite a bit, and there just recently. The bathrooms aren't working, and in front of every bathroom is 2 porta-johns. Rifle Camp Park and Garrett Mountain. So this is long-term for us. We've been there for 30 years. So this is gonna look real cheery for the first 5 years, but what about the next 10 years? Like I said, I've been to Rifle Camp Park. I've been to Garrett Mountain for 27 years as, when I worked. Those bathrooms never worked. And now, right now, 2 Port Johns in front of every built bathroom up in Rifle Camp Park in Garrett Mountain. Why? Because they don't work. And now we got that. Just to say with my wife, I do understand why we need bathrooms for a passive footpath. I'm sorry. If you're going to go and walk in there, walking can take half hour, 45 minutes. You know, if you need parking spaces, okay, work that out. But a bathroom in a permanent structure, especially for something that flooded right up to that spot when the last time we had a flood, I don't feel about it. And when I had to do an addition at my house on Prospect Street, I had to send out letters to all my neighbors within a certain amount of space around my house. Now they're going to put a bathroom next to mine. I didn't hear anything. I had to look in a paper. No, I had to send letters, registered letters out from the planning board to show that I was building. Nobody did that for the county. And just to reiterate for my neighbors, never heard anything except for walking pathway, nothing about buildings. So thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. Tom Barone, 26 Viewmont Terrace, Little Falls. I just want to say for the record, I think everyone's very excited about this project. Just so it doesn't come across as negative, like I think that's a positive thing. Everyone wants it. We're all glad it's not 25 units or whatever was supposed to go there. I just think it's important that we recognize that, and the locals, I lived on Wilmore when actually this project was probably first discussed, and now I'm on Viewmont right behind it. We're all eager to see the park part of this project happen. I just think you might want to take into consideration that this many people are verbalizing to you that the bathrooms and even the parking to a certain degree are a concern of ours. So this is not to discourage the project. For the record, I think we all want to see it happen. We just want to see it taken into consideration, our feedback. That said, I was also curious about Wilmore Road sidewalks. You know, I'm a broken record. I've been bringing this up for probably 5 years. Is that part of this project? I know the footbridge isn't. Are sidewalks on Wilmore part of this or not?
Mr. Brown, we've talked about these sidewalks, and the mayor will bring this up again, that why that becomes a challenge to create sidewalk. We would love to have the town, what I would call a walkability town, where people can walk from point A to point B. And there are certain times when, unfortunately, that may not be able to happen. But Mayor, would you elaborate why that becomes an issue?
Sure. These sidewalks in the grant that we received were part of a federal grant. The administration of these grants is extremely, extremely onerous, extremely expensive to a certain extent. And there's a lot of risk associated with them. What I mean by that is, unless you have somebody on staff who is, I'd say, almost an expert in administering these grants, the potential to not follow each and every one of the steps that's required by the federal government to receive the funding could potentially negate the grant. So we have been in touch with the county, who as part of other federal grants, what is going to attempt to administer the grant for us on our behalf to install these sidewalks. So there is still a possibility that they get installed. I have no timeline on it whatsoever right now. We are working with them, trying to see if we can do it in conjunction with the actual pedestrian bridge that is being forecasted by the county to be installed. So, no, but because it is the same federal funding source that would be funding both of them. So that was the reason that we were looking to potentially couple the two of those together.
I think my thought was, if a building and bathrooms weren't happening, which I would imagine of the 2.5 million, I think you said it is, that's got to be the lion's share of the expense, I would imagine. Sidewalks on Wilmore is probably less than that. So if there's a revamping of the project, I just wonder if sidewalks could be incorporated into that part of the plan. That's all I was thinking. But so we do. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. John Vettery, 110 Ridge Ave. Someone who was there back in 05. I want to thank the county again because there we countless meetings about the Alfieri building, the 26 homes there on the old cycling track. So thank you again for that. Thank you for everything that you're doing. We have two amazing advocates for Old Town Hall here. They help us all the time. And one of the things that we're doing at Old Town Hall is having hopefully the first Morris Canal Visitor Center. So I just want to see, and we've talked about this, that we accentuate some sign markers for the Morris Canal, And now we'll have an actual place to start as opposed to just meeting in a parking lot. And I really appreciate you listening to all the good residents here that live here, and look forward to having that public session. So thanks for everything that you do.
Trisha Toomey, 139 Wilmore Road. I want to reiterate what Tom said. We are very happy that you're going to be doing some trails, things like that. I'm totally disappointed about a bulkhead, about bathrooms. Again, I don't believe any of us received anything as far as plans or information regarding plans. I talk to Anthony often. I talk to people in the town often. Nobody ever said anything was coming forward. We also went to a meeting in about the Pompton Plains has a new Morris Canal extension. We went to a meeting in March and specifically asked about that. And they said they had no plans, nothing. So this has kind of taken me by surprise. I would like to give you this. It's a picture of an outdoor classroom with trees and rocks. There's a lot of rocks down there. There's a lot of quarry rock, the red quarry rock that Little Falls is known for. You know, maybe that can be incorporated with some nice trees. That's a pretty setting from a zoo in Cincinnati. There's also a catalpa tree down there. Please don't cut that down. It's gorgeous and it's right in the middle. Please work around it. And if you want any other ideas, all of us have ideas, but please don't do a bathroom, don't do bulkhead.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on the Peckman Preserve?
Council President May.
Yes, I'm sorry. Councilman Murphy?
Thank you, Council President. I just want to thank Commissioner Lazar and Kelly for being here tonight and for the presentation. You know, this is my first time seeing this as well. You know, and I did receive some phone calls and some emails from residents in the area. And, you know, bathrooms are something that I think even in the township we're looking to do. And, you know, I've kind of been doing my research and speaking to some elected officials that in townships that have them. And I've kind of been getting some mixed feedback on it as well. And, you know, kind of some of my concerns, last time I went to Verona Park, you know, on a Saturday, the bathrooms were locked and the porta johns are out front, just as, you know, Mr. Chalice had alluded to. So, you know, my only ask would be that if we could definitely work together with council and mayor and the community as well, and maybe just pump the brakes a little bit and just see exactly, you know, our next steps in this and what the county's next steps in this, that we come to a successful outcome to where everybody's happy, council's happy, mayor happy, you know, the community's happy, and that we can kind of team up on this, you know, because again, this is even my first time seeing it. So that's my only ask. Appreciate you guys being here again. You know, as the community alluded, we're all excited about this, and it's a great investment in our community, and I'm really happy about it. But just want to make sure that it's something that we're all, you know, on board with and comfortable with. So, but thank you again.
Are there any other comments from the council?
President.
Through the chair, Councilman Vanchery.
Thank you, Commissioner Lazar. You know, obviously you heard a lot of feedback. And there's a lot of residents that are in this room right now that have concerns and want to provide input. I guess as a next step, as my colleague just alluded to, can you set something up where you could have an open forum, you know, to have the residents come in with maybe some pictures of the plans and everything, so that the visuals, because I know we've done that before at the Civic Center for different things. I think maybe that we'll go over and then maybe take some feedback potentially about making some adjustments. I know you're probably hoping it would just be, you know, easy and just go ahead, but it's obvious that there's a lot of concerns here, and maybe just, you know, take a step back and just get some feedback and then go from there. So that'd be my best advice.
So, Councilman, the reason we came here tonight was to open up this dialogue. Okay, and you know, things do get changed, like the pedestrian bridge. When some of your residents came to the county and said, hey, you know, it's too low, the trees are gonna get caught, blah, blah. So we listened and we took the steps we needed to take to make sure that the pedestrian bridge will be up high enough to meet the expectations of the residents and the DEP. And one of the things that we want to do is just like, again, I have papers back there with this whole presentation. So anybody who wants to take it with them can. We are open to discussion. We've done it a million times where we've sat down, we had community forums, and we took into consideration what the residents wanted. This is not, you know, in stone. So as we get more details, because we're still waiting for the permits, we're still waiting for the rest of the renderings, we are open to having a community forum. And we would invite you to come back and share your thoughts, and we'll share what we have. And then come to some kind of agreement or conclusion of, what's the best thing for Little Falls. We have a very good relationship with your mayor and council. We will talk to them. They will tell us exactly like they did tonight, what they're looking for. But in the long run, Kelly knows what she's doing. She's working with the professionals. We will make sure that when this project comes to fruition, everyone will be happy.
Thank you, Commissioner Lazara and Kelly, for coming to our council meeting this evening. We will get back, possibly we'll have a special meeting for this project going forward so that the mayor and council could be part of it. And we'll communicate to you with a date that's convenient for yourself as well as with the council, and we'll get that out to the public.
That's great.
Okay, thank
We
you.
look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a motion to open the meeting to the public for general matters.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilman Havelitz. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Chief, you're welcome to stay up at the dais if you want. Looks pretty good up there, right? Where are we? Madam Clerk?
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so to the Council President. It is preferred if you give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall have raised their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you. The floor is now open. State your name for the record.
Good evening. My name is Carlos Suero, and I live at 117 Browardtown Road. In about 2004, my wife and I decided to move here. We absolutely love living in this town. About 10 years ago, we decided to have chickens in our backyard. Sorry, I'm getting.
Yeah, I apologize for that. Go ahead, if you just continue.
So about 10 years ago, we decided to have chickens in our backyard. We looked at several, we didn't find any restrictions here in town. We were very happy about that. And so we decided to move forward. We also looked at some other towns nearby to see, so we can have a guideline of what other towns are doing in terms of code and things for chickens. We found mixed rules around us, and so we decided to move forward. We got some chicks, and my kids absolutely love them. Recently, I found out from a neighbor that there's going to be an ordinance and some rules put in place. And while I agree with part of the ordinance, for example, on having roosters, they're very noisy. I wouldn't want my neighbors to be annoyed by us with a loud rooster crowing at 5 o'clock in the morning. But we do, with our chickens, we get along very well with our neighbors, and we've never had any complaints from our neighbors. So I'm asking for a reconsideration of some of the things that I see here. For example, if I can ask, the number 8 shall keep no more than 8 chickens. Why is that number? If anyone can tell us.
We came, okay, through the floor, but may I ask, sir, how many chickens do you own currently?
We have 20 chickens.
You have 20 chickens.
Yeah.
Councilman Havelitz?
No, I was just going to say, so this ordinance really did come about. We actually started talking about this ordinance in 2021. One of our former councilwomen, Tanya Sieber, she also was the owner of chickens, and we started talking about that. At that time, we had some complaints of roosters, and we started talking about the ordinance at that time. The rooster, I think there was one, it went away, whatever happened. And then, it was never really brought up again. And we had kind of, like you said, lax rules about chickens. Most recently, there's been a few other roosters around town, really disturbing some of our residents. Residents came to us asking us about roosters. We again looked at the ordinance that we were going to move forward with at that time with our counselor. And the counselor went with ordinances of other towns, surrounding towns. These 6 chickens came from like personal consumption. Usually having 6 chickens times the amount of eggs that they would produce per week would be for personal consumption. Usually having more chickens than even 6 would be more than a personal consumption, more like a farm, different regulations would have to be put in place. We did go with 8 to give it a little bit of leeway. I don't think anyone knew that you had 20 chickens in town until you said it right now. But Counselor, we might want to refer to how we wrote the ordinance. Counselor Wenzel?
Well, before we get to that, can sir, you have 20 chickens. Is this for personal consumption that you?
Yeah. We love our fresh eggs. There are 7 people in my home. Chickens don't lay eggs every day. Maybe the ones in the farms do, but when they're being raised by, organic food and natural food, they don't lay every day. So we don't, they lay about 200 eggs a year. So
20 chickens.
I mean, each one.
Oh, each one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not 360 eggs a year, but 200. So it's an average of like a day and a half for each chicken. So on an average day, we get maybe 11 eggs, 9 eggs, and we all eat a lot of eggs. We love them. During the pandemic, it was very important for us because we were able to get fresh eggs every morning, most mornings, and we absolutely love them. The reason you don't know we have chickens is because we don't bother anybody here. So our chickens are pretty much quiet. We have the blessing of having a big yard. Our chickens are over 100 feet away from the house, way back there, and over 100 feet from any neighbor. Our property goes back 500 and something feet, and so very quiet back there. We looked at Wayne, for example, just to get like a referral reference, and theirs is 25 chickens. We also looked at Montclair. Montclair, I don't think has a number. They just set it by X amount of feet for each chicken. And it does have like I think it does maybe have a number of a max you can have. So I'm asking that a consideration be made because not everybody's backyard is the same. So maybe change it so that it fits the space that one can accommodate for chickens.
Okay. So Counselor, through the chair that Councilman Hablitz is asking, as you heard this resident, we have many homes here are only on a 50 front lot and 50 by 100 feet. So having 20 chickens on that type of property would be not feasible, but this resident seems to have a large parcel of land. Could the ordinance possibly take a look at size of land versus how many chickens?
First of all, these regulations have to be viewed in where they're coming from. These regulations are health and safety regulations. These are not at the heart of it, right? So it is completely within the council's purview to make rules that they feel are appropriate for this township relative to that. The township has no agricultural zone, okay? There are no farms. There's no permitted farms in town. The degree to which you have any agricultural uses they're pre-existing non-conforming. Interestingly, I believe the code in Wayne about the 25 chickens, I think refers to agricultural property because Wayne does have some agricultural designated land, but just leave that on the side for a second. One of the towns I did look at, several Bergen County towns of similar size, similar disposition, all have some sort of limitation. And the reason for that is there is a difference to regulation wise between personal use and then theoretically individuals using the chicken egg production for sale. That's why a number is set. And that's why even Montclair, even though they don't say a number, by virtue of their size limitations, that it effectually, in effect, renders a number. By the way, West Milford, a town which has tons of land, tons of properties that are measured much larger than Little Falls. They have a max of 12 for a lot that's 1 acre. And I believe there are relatively few lots within the township of Little Falls that fall in the 1 acre or more standard. So can the township change that number? That's completely within the council's purview. I do believe that the council needs to take into consideration size. First of all, that's an important factor. I believe they also need to take into consideration putting this is not, you're not trying to do an end run in zoning. You're not trying to develop a farm zone. And not say that these people are, but I'm just saying that that's one of the issues with the regulation. You're doing it under health and safety, not as a zoning issue.
Okay, thank you, Council. Councilman Vanchery.
I was going to ask, so listen, I'm not a chicken expert, I like eggs. I know that for a fact. But with the coops that you have in your yard, do you have multiple ones or is it just one because of the way your space is set up? Because I know sometimes, I think Fairfield, keep me honest, right? 6?
I believe so.
Yeah, because I know they'll have 6 in a coop. I mean, how do you have it set up? Just out of curiosity, is it one large one or you broke?
So we have one coop and then we have a chicken run,
Mhm.
an enclosure around the coop. And it's just the one.
What's the one? Because you have the room because it's so far back. Okay, okay. Because I know sometimes too, like, is it counselor? Sometimes too, is it multiple coops with some of these towns? I read something earlier today about it.
Right. So there's also, once again, you can place restrictions on the coop itself. But in essence, when you place restrictions on the coop, you're placing restrictions on the number of chickens. Because if you're saying the coop can only be X by Y, then obviously, I guess when we talk about chickens, we don't call about being humane, but being nice to the chickens, you want to give them a certain room so that you're not stuffing the coop with chickens.
I call it humane.
Yeah, we received an email today, I think, from that address. How is that person related to you?
Which address?
The address you just stated. I thought we received an email.
117?
Yes.
This is my address.
Uh,
I sent a letter, an email.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. I think I sent a letter to Councilwoman Murphy, but
Okay.
maybe you didn't have. a
We
chance
got
to
it. Yeah, I think we got an email. I think, yeah.
Yeah, but that's, I think. for the
Yeah,
other-
got it.
Yeah.
Your neighbor,
Okay,
yeah, your
okay,
neighbor.
Thank you.
Got it.
All right. So I appreciate you coming this evening and explaining your concern about having 20 chickens. We're going to take that under consideration. The the governing body, as you heard, our lawyer, and from the council members, we are, also somewhat concerned that we don't want families or residents to run a business having multiple chickens. But, this situation, as you explained, your family is totally for personal consumption and not for reselling or giving it away to other members of your other family members. It's totally for personal consumption.
Sometimes we have to buy eggs
Sometimes you have to buy eggs.
Yeah, so, yeah,
Okay.
we eat a lot of eggs. So
It's just we find that a little bit humorous, but I guess that's
yeah, I
good-
mean.
good for that. You're
big-
eating healthy. I mean, we know organic eggs are the best to eat, right? I gather because they're not.
I
You,
mean, my daughter likes to bake a lot, so she uses them for baking
Okay.
and so, breakfast.
What's your address again?
117.
well, thank you for your time. Do you have any other questions for us?
Just one more if you allow me. So, in the enforcement part, it is saying, the township, health officer, pretty much can, appear at any time, to, inspect the chicken coop. And, I'm just asking why that is. I mean, I know that, for example, when someone has a dog and they get a license, I don't think they expect someone to show up at their home, inspecting, their dog.
I think,
Go ahead, Counselor.
Maybe I misunderstood.
right, there is only a permit process,
Okay.
just a permit.
Okay.
So once you have the permit, that's the only process.
Right.
Yeah, there'll be no unannounced knock on the door to.
Yeah, they can't do that.
When
in
I
any
read,
event.
that he have, the officers shall have the authority to discern compliance with this section. So I just thought it meant someone was gonna show up and look.
Right, no. As of 7:58 and 56 seconds, as far as I know, there's still a constitution. I don't know what those guys down in Washington are doing, but
Yeah.
they can't, the township health officer cannot just come onto your property. Okay, he can ask because there's been a complaint or something and, ask your permission, but no. No, it's only for it's only to make sure that the coop is permitted.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming this evening. The floor is still open for agenda items.
Good evening. My name is Adam Kosakowski, 147 Browardstown Road.
Raise the mic.
Thank you.
Last time I said an pledge of allegiance to a flag was in high school. In the first 2 years, I had no clue what I was saying. I was an immigrant, so I was just following along. This kid, on the other hand, wave. Yes. So we say the allegiance to the American flag, and every verse of the anthem ends with the land of the free and the home of the brave. Are you brave? How many eggs do you eat a day? What do you eat for breakfast? What do you eat for eggs for breakfast?
Eggs.
How many?
4.
How many eggs does Tata eat? How many? He said 10. He eats 3, I eat 8. My wife eats 4, and my younger one, the rambunctious one, he eats 3. I have evidence, videos of him eating eggs yesterday. If you'd like to see, I have it on. I can also generate invoices from Trader Joe's, how many eggs cartons I buy a week. So we were looking for a property during COVID that was not restrictive. I literally had a list of towns. I went through all of New Jersey, looking who restricts chickens. Little Falls was not one of them. I've called towns. I called this town. Some towns were not up to date with their ordinances. They had dusty notebooks in the bottom drawer, and they were not comparing very well to what was online. It turns out that Little Falls was not one of them. Good job. So I didn't get around to having chickens yet, just because when we bought a house, I took it upon myself to quit my job and renovate the house and got the house, everything with permits, of course. So I didn't get around working more than full-time a week. My wife full-time, works full-time mom. We're very busy. I was planning to raise build a chicken coop. So Carlos is actually a neighbor, and I was the neighbor who informed him of the ordinance. I told him about the dark clouds upon us. As I went to his house to tell him that, his youngest son was walking back from the coop with a wire basket full of eggs. This kid was ecstatic. It was something beautiful. Like I saw myself back in my motherland, retrieving eggs. And this town was the farmers established this town in 1711 before the US was a US. And it was farmers. I believe I still have some foundations of some animal building in the back of my yard, which is close to 300 feet long, 55 wide. So reading this ordinance, I just got concerned that knowing what I know about chickens, 8 chickens don't yield 8 eggs a day. If they did, who would I give the 8 eggs to? To my kids and my wife, or to myself, who's the provider for them, who needs to be stronger in this symbiosis? So here I am in front of all of you to ask that you don't pass the ordinance in the form it is now. I'm also 6'3", and the coop is not supposed to be higher than 6 feet. I'm getting older. I don't want to be banging my head, on a low ceiling or a door jamb. Yeah, as I'm with Carlos on that. If you could kindly consider redoing it or giving consideration to bigger lots that pay higher taxes. We bought we bought that house. We fought for that house. Paid, well above asking for a reason. We didn't bid on another house that with a much smaller land because it would be a nuisance. The chickens down the line would be a nuisance to the neighbors. The neighbor who actually told me about this ordinance, she's been asking me, when are you going to have the chickens? Because she wouldn't mind. We have the land to keep them, and not cause any nuisance to neighbors. And we only have 2 neighbors on the left and the right. Thank you very much.
Before you leave, sir, may I ask how many chickens you own?
0.
You haven't, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you want to put chickens. I'm sorry.
Wants to build.
I'm sorry.
trying to be
I misunderstood that.
And I also didn't go ahead and didn't grandfather myself in by getting chicks before this meeting. Neither did I build an extra shed, for the lots, because from what I know, the law doesn't work backwards, even though it's not criminal. So yeah,
Okay, thank you for your time.
thank you.
Council President?
Yes, to the floor, Councilman Murphy.
Thank you, Councilman. So I'm not going to speak for everybody up here, but I think the large majority of us, the reason that I think a lot of this even came about was because we were getting a lot of complaints on roosters. And I think our phones were ringing off the hook from a lot of neighbors. And I think the intent of this not necessarily was to try and restrict. And I'm glad that you have come forward because maybe we didn't know how many chickens were even in the town. If you did mail me something, I'm sorry, I didn't check my box in a couple of days. So I'm sorry I didn't see that, but I did get the email. But I'm more than happy to look into this and see what we could do and work with council on how we could change this. And I think the largest was, intent was for roosters again. So, and I think that kind of spiraled into other towns and ordinances that they had. And when we came up with
Right. No.
restrictions. Yeah.
Right. And once again, through you, Council President, to Councilman Murphy's point, obviously, once again, as I said before, it's certainly up to the council as the lawmaking body to determine what the appropriate standards should be and whether or not there should be exemptions for certain or a consideration for larger parcels or the number being changed. That is completely within your purview.
Okay, thank you. To the floor, Councilman Hablitz.
If I may add,
Give me one moment, sir. You could just, Councilman Hablitz.
Yes, I just want to say, so after hearing from both of you, I would ask that, and talking to our fellow council members, I would ask that maybe we could table this part of the ordinance and revisit it again and see if there's any adjustments we'd like to consider.
Go ahead, sir.
It just, reading it felt like there was a collective punishment for, 314 years of no chicken ordinance, and some roosters in the town just ruin it for everyone, and Carlos, I know for a fact that they don't have roosters. We weren't planning on have roosters. My wife likes to sleep in when she can. I wouldn't dare to have a rooster. And I have good neighbors. You buy a house, neighbors are like a Russian roulette. You don't know what to expect. And I have good ones. I wouldn't want to screw it up because we're pretty invested in this town. I put a lot of sweat, money and we're pretty good financially, so we're not selling eggs. Okay, we have good sources of income, so that would not be our side gig. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President?
Yes, Councilman
If I
Jerry.
could, if Carlos can come back up, I just want to ask you one question, if you don't mind, if that's okay, through the floor. You have 20, you said, correct. What other concerns did you have with the ordinance as it reads, besides the number? Was it anything else? I just want to make sure that there was.
It's the health officer issue.
Pardon me?
You brought up the health officer.
You didn't have anything else, right? There was nothing.
Yeah.
I misunderstood the way.
Okay,
read.
but nothing else, right?
Pretty much. I mean, like I said in the beginning, I agree. Roosters shouldn't be kept in polite company. They're, you know, I grew up, part of my childhood was in the Dominican Republic, and it's not fun to be next to a neighbor with a rooster. So when we first got our chicks, we made sure 100% we didn't get any males. So that's never been a problem for us. And by the way, you know, we've had our chickens for now close to 10 years. They don't last that long normally. Some of our hens are older, so they're not, some of them are not even laying anymore, which is why we don't get that many eggs. And also in the wintertime, they don't lay as much. Days are shorter. They lay when it's light outside, and they use a lot of their energy to keep themselves warm. So the production goes down considerably.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you don't mind, tomorrow, if you would send your contact information to my email. If you don't mind, I'd like to come to your property and see how these 20 chickens roam your property and get an idea.
They don't roam.
Are they? Sorry, did I use the-
They're not free
just
range.
check around, or
He may or
what
not
they
know
do.
what eggs
Okay.
are.
Thank you.
We can, you know.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone that would like to come before us in the chat? I think not. Have a motion to close the public comment?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Vanchery. All those in favor? All those opposed, motion carries. Mayor, 1 through 8.
Thank you, Council President. The items 1 through 8, first is a tax refund resolution. And again, as we see from time to time, we have individuals who may be veterans, which is the case here, who are entitled to tax refunds for tax that may have previously been paid without having been properly allocated the veteran deduction. So that is what item number 1 is addressing, a refund for a veteran who paid taxes and is entitled to a refund. Any questions on item number 1? All right, next item number 2 is the resolution authorizing the affordability assistance grants. And again, as we've seen from time to time throughout the year, individuals who are entitled to the fair share housing are entitled to the affordability assistance grant. And for each one, a new resolution needs to be passed. Any question on item number 2? All right, item number 3 is the resolution authorizing the application to NJDCA for a ROID grant program. And this is, again, another opportunity for the municipality to potentially secure a grant, and that would be grant funding for individuals with disabilities grant program for approximately $20,000. This is a resolution to submit the grant with the hopes of securing funding to provide some recreational opportunities for individuals with disabilities. Any question on that item? All right, item number 4 is the capital budget amendment resolution. And as required annually, capital budget amendment resolutions are required that project sort of a 5-year plan for municipalities and their capital budgets. Any question on item number 4? All right, item number 5, we've heard quite a bit about tonight. That is the ordinance 1525 regarding chickens and roosters here in the municipality. I don't know that the additional explanation is needed for anyone here on the dais, but happy to provide if there's any additional questions. Next, item number 6, our ordinance 1526, our salary ordinance, and this is just an update to our salary ordinance and the positions throughout the municipality with minimums and maximums set by this council, ranging for individuals that are providing services to this town as employees. Any question on item number 6? All right, items number 7 and 8. I'll do them sort of together, although they are two separate ordinances. Item number 7 is the this year's capital budget related to the ambulance here in town. $480,000 is the estimated amount to purchase a new ambulance. And for those of you who may recall, now it's 10 years ago, the municipality secured 2 ambulances at the same time that Patterson was purchasing a handful of ambulances for themselves. And we jumped on board with Patterson because of the bulk pricing. We were able to secure 2 ambulances at the same time about 10 years ago. Those ambulances are now 10 years old. They have certainly seen their fair share of wear and tear. And while they're not at the end of their useful life yet, they're certainly beginning to approach the end of their useful life. And unfortunately, because of delays in production, even if this resolution, or I should say this ordinance, is approved or introduced tonight and adopted at the following meeting, ambulances, once a PO is issued, are taking over 2 years for municipalities to actually secure. So this right now is some future planning that with 2 10-year-old ambulances and one that's, I think, about 20 years old, we are looking to ensure that we are able to continue to provide EMS services here within the municipality to our residents, and forecasting and projecting the absolute need for 1, if not 2 ambulances in the somewhat near future. This being the first of those 2, which would allow us to then begin rotating our ambulances. And we will, in all likelihood, within the next year or 2, see another request for an ambulance through a capital ordinance here before this council, because again, they are both of our current ambulances are 10 years old. So that's what item number or ordinance number 1527 is. Any questions on 1527 and the ambulance?
Mayor, are you on, you're going to go over 1528?
I'm going to do 1528.
Okay.
Ordinance number 1528 is similarly an ordinance for capital requests and securing of a number of items here within the municipality. This covers a number of our departments here in town. The first being a large F-550 for our DPW, which has about a little bit over around $100,000 cost associated with it. The next is acquisition of communication and signal systems equipment for radios for our building department, and that has about a $25,000 request. So it's actually $24,000 request associated with it. We're looking to acquire additional and replacement equipment and machinery for communications and signal systems for our police department, including things such as license plate readers, body cameras, in-vehicle cameras, tasers, firearms, firearm training equipment, radios, tactical gear, and drone equipment. That is totaling $345,000. There's also the acquisition of new additional and replacement equipment and machinery and rescue tools for use by our fire department, and that has about a $90,000 price tag on it. This total amount of all of these items is the total amount that you see here in this bond ordinance of $564,000. That will require a $27,000 aggregate down payment for the purchase of all of these items, and then the ultimate capital ordinance to fund the remainder. Are there any questions on item or bond ordinance 1528?
Thank you, Mayor. Can I have a motion and a second? Can I have a motion to approve the correspondence applications?
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Patel, second by Councilwoman Hablitz. All those in, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba?
Yes. Can I have a motion to approve resolutions A through E?
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Patel,
Second.
second by Councilman Vanchery. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz, Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba?
Yes, we won't be hearing 1525. That's not going to be heard tonight. Madam Clerk, please.
We need,
Well,
we need a motion.
Table.
This is table.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can I have a motion to table 1525?
So move.
Wow. Buddy. Who the heck? Who-
He wants to be responsible for that.
Councilman Murphy moved, second by Councilwoman Hablitz. Call the roll to table 1525.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Havletts? Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, Madam Clerk, read 1526.
Introduction of ordinance number 1526, an ordinance entitled 2025 Little Falls Salary Ordinance with a second reading and public hearing scheduled for September 29th, 2025.
Can I have a motion to introduce 1526? Moved by Councilwoman Patel.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Hablitz. Call the roll to introduce 1526.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz?
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, Madam Clerk, can I have a motion to introduce 1527? That moved by Councilwoman Hablitz, second by Councilwoman Patel. Call the roll to introduce 1527.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz? Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, Madam Clerk, 1528, please.
Excuse me, Council President, I just have to read 1527.
I'm sorry, read 1527.
Introduction of bond ordinance number 1527, an ordinance entitled Bond Ordinance to Authorize the Acquisition of a New Ambulance in by and for the Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $480,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, with a second reading and public hearing scheduled for September 29th, 2025.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, 1528.
Introduction of bond ordinance number 1528, an ordinance entitled Bond Ordinance to Authorize the Acquisition of New Additional or Replacement Equipment and Machinery, New Communication and Signal Systems Equipment, and New Automotive Vehicle, including original apparatus and equipment in by and for the Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $564,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, with a second reading and public hearing scheduled for September 29th, 2025.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to introduce 1528?
So
Moved by Councilwoman Patel,
Second.
second by Councilman Vanchery. Call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Patel?
yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz?
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes.
For the record, on the tabling of the second reading of public hearing for ordinance 1525, that would be tabled to the September 29th, 25 meeting.
Chief, you have anything for this governing body tonight?
I'd just like to thank you for having me come up here. Changes the scenery up. It's, a lot more enjoyable up here. The chairs are more comfortable now.
Thank you, Chief. Councilwoman Patel?
Thank you, Council President. Just a few quick updates for the Public Health Committee. The Clifton Health Department will have free eye screenings at their Clifton satellite office on Thursday, September 11th, between 9:30 and 10:30 a.m. They're also partnering with Screen New Jersey to hold a free prostate cancer screening at Clifton City Hall. That's going to be held on Tuesday, September 30th from 1 to 5 p.m. And finally, the next Public Health Committee meeting will be held this Wednesday, September 10th at 6:30 right here in Town Hall. That's all I have, Council President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Patel? I'm sorry, Councilwoman Hablitz?
Thank you, Council President. A few library updates. This week, or actually next week, they will be hosting a aerospace forensics of the World Trade Center disaster. It is part 2 of a series. You can register at the library's website, and that will be Tuesday, September 16th at 6:30. There will be a presentation of an in-depth look at the World Trade Center disaster. There will also be kids video games for 4th to 6th grade on the 12th at 3:45 p.m. You can register at the website. This month it is MarioWare, and you can register at their website. As always, you can see the latest updates on their website or on their social media. This Saturday, it's that time again for our town-wide yard sale. There's still time to register at Community Pass, and if you have any problems with Community Pass, you can call Tyler Presero at our Recreation Department. The permit is $5, but you will receive a yard sign, as well as we will be doing all of the advertising for you. That morning, Saturday morning, there will also be a countywide reusable bag collection right here at Town Hall, sponsored by Passaic County. It will be in the parking lot here from 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. So if you have a lot of those reusable bags, don't know what to do with them, bring them down to the recycling event sponsored by Passaic County. Lastly, I'm happy to report that we are the recipients of the Passaic County Dig Into grant again. This is our third year in a row that we have received it. It consists of the daffodils that everyone has seen around town. We will be getting another 3,000 daffodils, 10 trees that will be planted by our DPW with input from our Shade Tree Commission. And this year we will have the addition of native plants that will be planted at Wilmore Road Park. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Vanchery.
Thanks, Council President. This Thursday at 6 p.m. at Wilmore Road Park, we will have our annual 9/11 ceremony. So just a reminder, everybody, to make sure if you are around to stop by. Unfortunately, I am going to be traveling for work, so I've asked Council President Scoba to lead the ceremonies, and he's going to work with all the special guests that we'll have. So again, sorry I cannot be there, but please, if you are around on Thursday, stop by. I want to say thank you to the Little Falls DPW department for a few things. Myself and Corporal Panola have been working with them to address some of the roads in town, and we had a chance to look at all the signage that we currently have, what is outdated, what is being covered by trees, where we need to add some stuff. So appreciate the fact that, the DPW department has been working on getting the replacements or updating where there are some problem areas. And also kudos to them as well. Same thing with myself, Corporate Panola. We've been working with DPW because we want to repaint the crosswalks in town to make them more safer, having the hashes as well as the double lines to really make them pop. So we're in the process of just getting that squared away so we can have the vendor come in and paint a number of our roads. The other thing too is I want to say thank you because last meeting we had, I mentioned how the new lighted crosswalk was put up on Patterson Ave. Happy to say the second one was put up by Wilmore Road Park as well. We are looking to get some more this year because we can definitely use them around town. So thank you to DPW for handling that. And then one other thing I'm working on with Commissioner Bartlett from the county is with Newark Pompton and with the wave of new buildings and new storefronts, a few residents have reached out in that area asking about additional crosswalks. So after speaking with Commissioner Bartlett last week, we kind of took a look at what's out there, where some additional pedestrian crosswalks could go. And now Mr. DiMaria from our building department is working on securing a map that Commissioner Bartlett will then send over to the state to look at and do a site check to determine whether or not they can add the crosswalks and hopefully to add the lighted pedestrian signs as well. So more to come on that, but appreciate that Commissioner Bartlett jumped in when I reached out to him. And then one other thing that we're working on with Mr. Wenzel and Mayor and Council President will come to you as well. We've talked about adding some additional handicap parking in town. We're looking to add 2 on Wilmore Road Park. And after talking to several of the businesses on Main Street from Patterson Ave down to Maple, where there are no handicap signs in that section on Main Street, we're going to look to add 2 on that street, one near the corner of Patterson and Main, and then the other one near 44 Main. So more to come on that. We're just got to get some additional details for our counselor, but then hopefully we'll have that soon to present in front of the council. That's it for me.
Thank you. Councilman Murphy.
Thank you, Council President. We did have a Domestic Violence Awareness Committee meeting last Tuesday. And as October is fastly approaching, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we do have a lot going on. So we will have a flag raising on Tuesday, September 30th, last day of the month. So when you wake up on October 1st, the flag will be up. So that'll be at 6 p.m., obviously in the front of Town Hall. We'll be at a couple events that we have going on in town, as well as getting ready for the purple ribbons that we'll be putting up on the telephone pole. So a lot going on the Domestic Violence Awareness Committee front for the month of October. I did have a conversation with the state, and it appears that JWBS, Jersey Battered Women's Services, will be taking over for the county. For those who aren't aware, obviously the county shut down the DV and SV centers. And so JWBS will be picking up that responsibility. That's who Morris County currently uses. Basically, they're going to be coming in for the 24-hour hotline, emergency shelter, transitional housing, counseling, support groups, legal advocacy, and batterers intervention. So they do have a lot more than that, but that's kind of their primary function. So they'll be picking up all that. That used to be the county's responsibility. I think that as of last week is who, when you call the hotline, that's who they're pushing everybody to. And so we're happy finally to have something in place, because there was kind of a couple week span there where we didn't have any information really to even give anybody or shelter for them. So good to see that there actually is finally some organization that's picking that up, and glad to have them in place. Other than that, that's all I have, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Murphy. Tentatively on October 1st or October 15th, City County Sheriff's Department reached out to me to put on a presentation with Little Falls, Woodland Park, and Totowa, a specific program for senior scams. And Chief, you'll probably agree that your office is flooded with these calls for seniors that are getting taken in all different ways, primarily really with money, with bank accounts. And when I told the mayor of this program, he himself said that a family member was scammed from someone. So this is a growing problem, and I'll have more information as this program develops, but we're really glad that the Sheriff Department reached out so we can inform our seniors to be careful going forward. Have a motion to open the meeting to the public for agenda items.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilwoman Havelitz. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Madam Clerk.
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so to the Council President. It is preferred if you give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you. See no one come before us. Can I have a motion to close the public comment?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilman Murphy. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Can I have a motion to go to executive session?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilman Murphy. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, no action will be taken. This executive session is discussing pending or anticipated litigation.
Hanging something. Where's not? We're just going out.
Thank you.
I'll do it in a minute.
Something that really doesn't really involve us.
Okay. Is this
You just thought you weren't to be about bacon you were gonna have. That's preserved. Have a motion to return to open session?
So
Moved
moved.
by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilman Murphy. All those in favor? All those opposed? I want to thank the staff for helping me put this agenda together. Thank you very much. Have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilman Patel. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? This meeting is now closed.